It's time for our weekly conversation with pride of the Jaguars running back Fred Taylor. The Jaguars are 4-1. They are tied for first in the AFC South, tied for the best record in the AFC. A lot of football left, Fred, but it's a really good place to be right now.
Hey, I'd rather be here at 4-1 than the other way around, 1-4. So it's exciting times not only for the franchise but for the city. It was a great turnout last week, and I'm pretty sure now with that momentum, we'll see more and more, crazy fans, not crazy like crazy crazy, but you know what I mean, like fanatics in the bank, and that's what the team wants, and that's the energy they need, and hopefully this thing can keep moving forward.
James Gladstone said in the offseason when he was hired, they're not going to be afraid to make bold decisions and moves. And they've made another trade as of this week in Tyson Campbell heading to the Browns. Greg Newsome coming back from the Browns. They've traded some draft picks as well. And here we go. They're not going to stop making moves and trying to improve this roster.
No, they hit the ground running. They're very aggressive since day one. It's carried over to on the field, in the way Coach Cohen, he's been in his play calling, but strategic, not just aggressive just to be aggressive, but very strategic. And they're making the moves to try and win now. James Gladstone, he was there in Los Angeles with the Rams when they made some aggressive moves and they went out and got the guys they needed to let the league know, look, we want to win now, and we'll worry about everything later. And people thought those moves would set them back. But if you look at the Rams, who we'll be, seeing in a week from now out in London, they haven't been much fall off, and they're still plug and playing with a lot of young guys, despite all the vets that they've signed. So, Newsome, he's been a very solid cornerback throughout his career. Unfortunately for Tyson, who's very close to myself and my family, we're going to hate to see him leave the state of Florida, and even more so the Jaguars. I think it's a good move by the team, quite naturally. And if I'm being honest, I felt that Tyson needed to perform better. The team probably did too to make that move. So we'll see. Here we are. Newsome's gonna, get an opportunity to go out there and show everyone what he's made of. As you alluded to before this conversation, it's a contract year for him. So that's motivation in itself, and a little change never hurts. So it's always been intriguing. So we'll see how it turns out.
Fred Taylor with us. Let's get into this matchup now. The Seattle Seahawks coming to town to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. And boy, I mean, this offense in Seattle's throwing it around with Sam Darnold now. They've got good receivers in Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they've got a pair of running backs that they utilize, starting with Kenneth Walker the third. What about this offense? What do you like the most about Seattle's attack?
I like everything that you just mentioned. JSN, a great player. You talk about Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown, former Triple Crown, who people thought he was sort of on his way out. He's resurging, along with Sam Donald, another player who's resurging and redeeming his career. One of those early round picks that kind of been like a journeyman, but Minnesota a year ago, he did well, provoked the trade. Now he's out in Seattle, where he's playing well, and he's firing. He's a leader for him. Kenneth Walker, you mentioned him. My former coach, Coach Kennedy Pola, KP, my guy. I talked to him not too long ago. KP's, teaching him everything he taught Maurice and myself. I've even spoken with Kenneth a few times on the phone. Young guy, solid back, can do it all. Amazing jump cut, fast, can get it downhill. Kind of just arrived on the scene his rookie year, caught some people off guard. Long run after long run. So certainly capable, very explosive offense. And, they're going to have to do well up front. I know they've battled some injuries, but they're going to have to do well up front in order to slow down this Jaguars pass rush and opportunistic defense. So it'll be a good display and challenge for them.
Yeah, that's the part of this Jaguars defense. It's been opportunistic. They punch the ball away. They get interceptions. Last week they had the pick six, of course, with Devin Lloyd. I mean, is that sustainable? Can they just keep doing the same thing they've been doing and results are still going to come, right?
Well, that's the question we've been asking every week, and they're proving us right or wrong. They're proving themselves right every week because they're preaching it. They're talking it in the building, they're talking it in the locker room. And, we talk about speaking things into existence. It was the theme on the show a few days ago. And these guys, man, they love each other. They're thriving around each other, and they believe in what they're doing. And turnovers is one of those things. It's the theme. So, if they're in the right places and they're studying and they're believing and trusting what they're seeing on tape, this is how it happens. So I got an opportunity to talk to Camp a week ago. I didn't know he was that big of a Fred Taylor fan. It was hug after hug. I'm like, keep them coming, the hugs and the turnovers. So it's a lot of love and happiness in the building. So uh, if it's sustainable, honestly, I don't know. But it's been a theme for them, man, and it's worked. And whatever they're doing, I'm sure they're going to keep doing until they have to do something else. So, keep it going until it ain't going no more.
I'm surprised he didn't punch the football. He was trying to hug you.
I didn't have a ball. But sometimes when you visualize and practice on air,
Right.
that's the way you get good at it. Uh, but no, it was just a great moment to be able to sit there and chop it up with him. One of those moments where they make you feel old because they're so young. The coaches these days are like 30, 29, and they're like, "Oh, I grew up watching you. I was the big fan. I couldn't wait to meet you." It was just one of those encounters, man. But just more so than anything, just full of respect and admiration. It was reciprocated, and congratulated him on the hire and the things that they've been able to achieve in this early part of the season.
Fred Taylor with us. Let's get a thought on the Jaguars offense here and the performance last week. Obviously, of Trevor Lawrence was just filled with moxie and grit, it felt like, in that game. It wasn't pretty, but he made big throws when he needed to
Yeah,
and then ran when he needed to, even when it didn't look great. He just found a way to get his team over the top. That's a good foundation, right? What's the next
yes.
step now for Trevor in this offense?
Yeah. It was a great way to end the game. Let's say that. Some learning processes and moments, teachable moments throughout the course of the game. We don't want to, hang on those too long, but you want to bring them to Trevor's attention. I'm pretty sure Liam and the staff has. For example, the one play where he could have tossed it out of bounds late in the game. It was a situational opportunity for Trevor to display his awareness and just you're out of the pocket, toss it out. You don't lose a timeout. You don't lose valuable seconds. And that would have been one of those things that would have come back to haunt them had he not, had the same awareness to get off the ground and run and punch it in to win the game for his ball club. The ETN play on the sideline, take the 8 or maybe even 10 first down reset as opposed to the shot to the end zone. But we're all Monday morning quarterbacks, right? We're not out there in the heat of the moments. We see things from all 22 in the sky view that players don't see when they're out there in those pressure situations. Still, I don't want to dampen the mood. Great victory, gutsy, moxie, as you mentioned. He did everything needed to will his team to a win, and that's what you need from your franchise quarterback.
All right, Fred, let's keep this train rolling. How about a win this week?
A win would be big. It would be huge. Then you head to London with opportunity to play a solid Rams team, and then you have a few after that that are very winnable. It is the NFL, as Liam would say. It's hard to get a win in here, so you don't look past these teams. But let's just say the schedule starts to turn favorable if this team continues to stack them up in this manner.
So if this was a stock, you would buy right now.
I would certainly buy. I would buy. What do they say? What's the saying? buy the hype, sell the news, or whatever, however it goes. This is the hype train. I would buy the hype, sell the news, because when the news hits, sometimes it's too late.
Fred, we'll talk to you, man. Thanks.
All right, boss. Have a good one.